take on the Arizona Diamondbacks in the first of a 3-game series, the start of a 3-city 9-game road trip. The Buccos and the Snakes playing here at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Buccos 8-8 on the young season, and you saw the Diamondbacks 8-7. Pens still playing the Rangers late in the third period. Looks like it might be going into overtime. In the meantime, glad you could join us as the Buccos get ready to take on the Diamondbacks, where we last met this team, Bob. There were some hard feelings going on here. One night, Ernesto Frieri, who's no longer with the Pirates, breaks Paul Goldschmidt's hand with a pitch. The next night, obvious retaliation. Randall Delgado smacks Andrew McCutchen square in the back. McCutchen said, hey, it's water under the bridge, but just remember, I don't forget. And I just wonder if quietly in his mind, he'd just like to have a great series here.
It's hard to have something, really come over, carry over for a whole year. So let's. I'm going to go into this game thinking that it's done with, and there won't be any carryover, but we'll have to watch.
Check out the Toyota starting lineups for the Pirates. And it is Josh Harrison leading things off. He'll be followed by Gregory Polanco and Andrew McCutchen. Neil Walker hits cleanup. Starling Marte, last 7 games, 4 home runs. Did not start yesterday, but did come on and pinch ran and played defensively late in the game yesterday after being hit by a pitch the other day. Pedro Alvarez, Francisco Cervelli, Jordy Mercer, and then Garrett Cole for the Bucks.
I'm going to take a look at Cole Minter's numbers on the season. Did a good job in his last start bringing down that ERA. Dropped a shutout up in San Francisco against the Giants. 4 hitters, as a matter of fact. He's not really a stuff guy. He just moves that fastball around and hits his spots, and every year he seems to do a pretty solid job here for the Diamondbacks.
He's 29 years old, from Homer, Michigan. And we'll check out the defense behind him for Arizona under Chip Hale, first-year skipper of the D-backs. Honda presents the defense. A.J. Pollock in center. Ender Inciarte in left. Mark Trumbo in right. Paul Goldschmidt, Chris Owings on the right side. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. Yasmani Tomas, the third baseman. Tuffy Goswitch catches Josh Colmenter. And Josh Harrison will be leading things off. There's Paul Goldschmidt, whose season was cut short last year. He broke his hand. Looks like he has picked up where he left off, and 2 years ago tied for the National League lead in home runs with Pedro Alvarez. Ready to go. The roof is open. This is a rarity for us here in Phoenix.
Really a beautiful afternoon and a big gorgeous evening, even maybe a little on the cool side.
And right up the middle and right away, Josh Harrison on a 1-0 pitch, singles to center, and we're off and running. Josh Harrison has hit safely now in each of his last 6 games played here at Chase Field.
He just goes right back through the middle with that ground ball, and it's one of the things that I think the Pirates offense always looks for, is for J.Hay to kind of set the tone. He was such a spark plug for the team last year, getting all kinds of rallies going when he came out of that utility role and really grabbed an everyday job.
Here's Gregory Polanco, and what a job he has done lately. They'll pay attention to Harrison. Polanco, one of the heroes yesterday. Ted Hurdle was talking about his 7th inning at bat against the veteran lefty Phil Koch when he fell behind by a couple strikes. Ended up hitting a ball through the left side of the infield, scoring the go-ahead and eventual winning run. Polanco was 3 for 4 yesterday as the Pirates defeated the Chicago Cubs 5-4 in comeback fashion. 0-1. And chop toward Goldschmidt. He'll throw to second to get the out there, and they will not get Polanco at first.
That's always a tough double play to get, even with a slower runner. Not going to get Polanco.
Check out our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat in just a moment. The active leaders in batting against the Arizona Diamondbacks, talking about Josh Harrison, how well he has done here and against the Snakes. But look at this. Since 2012, only Troy Tulowitzki has hit better against the Diamondbacks. That has Andrew McCutchen.
It's a good ballpark to hit in. Ball carries well here. I think that almost all the hitters look forward to a road trip that has Arizona on the agenda.
Well, Polanco almost couldn't get the big body in motion there.
Pause.
Froze.
It's like it froze in midair. Oh, a little slip.
Trying to do some grounds crew work over there. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, and first base umpire, watches. And now McCutchen finally calls time as Colementor is in that stretch position too long. He's trying to vary his
probably a call
delivery.
From the dugout, you would think. They have a sign for that. You're supposed to hold the ball for a while and then step off.
Polanco is 5 for 5 in steals early going.
A bit of a quick pitch there after the long hold. That time he barely stopped.
Colementor, he's done a pretty good job over the years of containing that running game. You would think with that unorthodox over-the-top delivery that you might be able to steal on him, but as you said, Bob, just a moment ago,
not much leg kick.
Yeah,
you know, he's quick coming home, and he does a good job, as we've seen already, of varying the times that he's going to hold on to the ball. So it's hard to get that anticipation of when he's going. Some guys get into a habit of 1,001 to go home, 1,001 to go home, 1,001 to go home. They get in a rhythm.
There goes Polanco, and he is in there with a stolen base. Ghostwich is 1 for 7 now in throwing out runners as Polanco swipes his 6th.
Not much of a leg kick at all. I mean, that's getting the ball home very quickly. But Polanco seems like he takes about 8 steps to get all the way to second base. He's long legs of his. He's popping up out of his slide before the tag even got him.
No chance for McCutchen to give the Pirates an early lead.
I like that feet first slide like that in the second base. You would think that that's got to, especially somebody as big and strong as Polanco coming in, that can't be a comfortable tag for anybody to have to make. He's coming in their feet first like that.
I guess if you're a middle infielder, you'd rather be putting that tag down on a hand.
Yeah, on somebody's hand on the oven mitt.
2-2. Polanco dancing off the bag. And now a full count. Josh Colementor is 29 years old, as we mentioned, from Homer, Michigan. 6'4", 235 pounds. Neil Walker is on deck. Pirates have seen Colementor previously. This is his 4th career start, his 7th appearance. He's done a lot of bullpen work. 2.70 ERA in his career versus Pittsburgh. And a fly ball to right. Trumbo will make the catch. Polanco will try to advance 90 feet and will. 2 outs in the first. And then we'll bring up Neil Walker. The Diamondbacks had the day off yesterday. They were coming off a series against the Texas Rangers interleague series. Colementor's last time out pitched a 4-hit shutout against the Giants in San Francisco last week. Makes his 4th start of the season. Walker, a 6-game hitting streak and a 241 average for the season.
You watch his velocities and the fact that he uses a lot of fastballs. Just shows you that there's a way to get outs without being one of those guys that had the great fastball. With the good control, you put it where you want to, set pitches up, figure out what the hitter's trying to do, pitch accordingly. That's how Colementor gets it done.
couple years ago led National League relievers in innings pitched.
Fastball just 85.
Trying to get on the board first here. Start this series in this road trip. Ground ball right side, and Neil Walker provides the early lead. A base hit to right. The Pirates take a 1-0 lead in the first.
Cole Mentor, I just mentioned how he needs to hit his spots, keep the ball on the edges. He threw this one pretty much just right down the pipe. I mean, he put that on a tee for him.
That is right down.
And he's still got a ground ball. It just happened to be in a hole. It's just, he's got that, we talk about this a lot. Certain guys through the course of a season, that deception.
Yeah.
It's got to be all part of his delivery. The way he does get way up on top of the ball has to be part of the reason that he can be so effective and really not throw that hard.
Now Marte.
There's one at 85. Now, if you said, could anybody throw a ball by Marte in the inside half of the plate at 85? I would say no, that's not ever going to happen. Well, we just saw it done.
A ball and a strike. Marte was hit by a pitch against the Chicago Cubs on Wednesday. Jason Hamill got him. He gets plunked a lot on that hand. This ball's popped out of play off to the right. And it's 1-2 on Starling Marte.
Yeah, he does take a lot of hits during the course of the year. He's got that protective device that he wears on his elbow, and now I notice he does have something on the back of that left hand and his wrist. Hope it's thick enough.
We were talking to him today about that with Jordy Mercer, saying, you just need to get a really, especially on the side of the hand. He said that's where he gets hit more than the back of the hand.
Well, that's okay, though.
Remember the Jeff Bagwell?
It's the back of the hand where you break bones.
That's where Jeff Bagwell, the former Astro, used to get hit a lot, to the point where he had about a 3-inch pad.
Yeah, he came back after getting his hand broken, had a small pad.
Yeah.
And it happened again. Next time he came back, he had the refrigerator on there. But you get the little bones are so close to the under your skin, and they get whacked. They're easy to crack one of those, and now you're out a long time. There it is.
It's the bruise on the hand here, right hand. Nothing Pirates. Marte with a dozen RBIs, tied for 8th in the National League in the RBI department. And a line drive to the shortstop, dropped. Walker continues. Marte will be thrown out at first base. Walker kept running towards second base. Ahmed dropped the ball but still retires Marte. here in Phoenix with the roof open. Honda starting lineup for Chip Hale's D-backs. Ender Inciarte will lead things off. He'll be followed by A.J. Pollock, and then Paul Goldschmidt, already tied for third in the league with 5 homers. Mark Trumbo hits cleanup. Yasmani Tomas, the Cuban defector, is at third base. Chris Owings at second. Tunde Goswitch, Josh Comenter, and Nick Ahmed. So back-to-back series, we see a manager bat the pitcher 8th. Joe Madden did it for the Cubs at PNC Park, and now Chip Hale. Now, maybe not a surprise because the chief baseball officer is Tony La Russa for this D-backs club. Here's Garrett Cole.
Off to a pretty darn good start. Really pulling for Cole. I really think this is going to be the year that he establishes himself around the league as one of the leagues, if not baseball's best.
Strike one.
Yeah, his last start, a lot of breaking balls early on, and just didn't look like he was in sync. And then went back to that fastball, got that established, and then he just started cruising.
Well, they've got the shift on, but Mercer going to his right, crossing back over the bag, and retires Inciarte on a fine play.
Excellent play by Jordy. You can see that Mercer, because of the positioning, this was a much tougher play. He was able to get that ball off to the side one-handed. Didn't have to backhand the ball. Rounded it a little bit.
Now A.J. Pollock takes strike one. 358 average early going, 8th in the league. And a bouncer, more routine for Jordy Mercer. And 2 ground ball outs to the shortstop. Now you go back to last year with Garrett Cole. He combined his first 3 starts this season. He's 2-0, a 2.65 ERA this year in 3 starts. But last 8 starts, 6-0, and a 2.88 ERA. Opponents hitting .220 against him, averaging 11 strikeouts per 9. And in those 8 starts, he's given up 3 home runs.
Could we have 2 starting pitchers in the same game with any more different styles than these 2 guys?
No. That's a great point. Talk about a contrast. Strike one on Paul Goldschmidt.
Cole Minter, who is all about location and deception, and Garrett Cole, definitely makes use of the power game.
Oh, and 2, and Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, you know, Goldschmidt is their big offensive weapon. I don't think it's kind of a no-brainer. You don't let him beat you. And you know, we have Cole on the mound. They have Cole Minter on the mound. So we need to hit one or 2 over the long wall. You think, Greg?
That's right.
I mean, this is a home run ballpark.
Yep.
So the home run's going to play a part. Get one over the long wall.
Garrett Cole has given up the 1 home run so far this season.
You remember that long wall?
Oh yeah,
minor thing we saw down in the coal mine?
Yep.
It's one of those things you never forget.
No.
You see that.
That was an unforgettable trip down to the coal mine in Washington, PA a few years ago. Thanks to Tom Hoffman and Consol Energy. 2-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. And now it's a full count. That was 97 from Cole. A look high above the top row. Here, Chase Field. Check swing and ball 4. Jumped out in front. Ended up walking him.
Hey, went with a 3-2 breaking ball. So, I mean,
does that go to your tips to win?
Yeah. You stay away from it. But in this situation, I mean, if I got a 97 on a fastball, 2 outs, nobody on first inning of the game, if you were going to go after a guy, now's the time to do it. Those tips are kind of more toward like when you get into the 5th, 6th, 7th inning, and you know there's maybe a runner in scoring position, or even if he's up there all by himself and it's a 1-run game. be a little more careful. But even in this scenario, I mean, like I said, he is their guy. He's the home run hitter, the RBI guy. He hits for average, does it all for them. Don't let him beat you.
Now Trumbo, who has 1 home run and 6 RBIs. See the Diamondbacks, the other team in the league that has those matted helmets like the Pirates. I mean, look, 1 ball, 1 strike. We talked before about how popular the Pirates helmet.
I like it on the Pirates. You know, the snakes are usually kind of shiny. I think they should have stuck with the shiny helmets.
Leave the matted stuff to the Bucks. Runner goes, got a good jump, and it's a fly ball to shallow right. And Polanco coming in, and that'll do it. 1 inning complete. Pirates lead the D-backs 1-0.
Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Pedro Alvarez takes a strike. Alvarez will be followed by Francisco Cervelli and Jordy Mercer. 0 for 4 in his career against Colementor. Just a 139 career hitter versus these Diamondbacks. Now Colementor has done really good work over the years against right-handed pitching. And in fact, this year, righties just a 130 average, 3 for 23. But left-handed hitters, another story. They're batting 400 against him, 20 out of 50. Watch that in this ball game. Polanco, Walker, Alvarez from the left side. Matter of fact, since 2011, Colementor will retire Alvarez. Since 2011, right-handed batters just a .262 on base percentage against Colementor. Only Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer have been better against right-handed hitters.
Yeah, Greg, watching Colementor pitch here early on, I'm going to add a third tip to win this one is show some patience up there.
Yeah.
I mean, in that instance right there, Pedro got himself out. It got, you know, a nothing fastball up and away, off the plate up and away, and he reached out and tried to pull it and just got it off the end of the bat in a weak ground ball. They have to make sure they get a good pitch to hit.
It's got to be.
Colementor's not going to just give you one unless he has to, or he makes some kind of mistake, like what Walker did.
Yeah.
Walker ended up getting a real good pitch to hit, made a mistake, got the base hit on it.
Do you think it's got to be tough, Bob, because it looks so inviting, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably.
It looks
that's
like
all part of it.
I hate to say it, but it looks like you should be able to knock them all over the place.
He's not. Doesn't. It's just. It's one of the slower fastballs they're going to see all year, and I'm sure it's tough for him to stay there and stay back and not try and go out there and pull the ball over the fence, over the long wall.
Check swing. Larry Davis. 2-1. So you can see Cervelli almost shaking his head.
Yeah, he's like, I can't be that quick. Can't pull him. Now that one was 78. That was a breaking pitch. Real tough, not to be out in front of something when it gets down into the 70s. You got to really have some discipline at that point.
To the shortstop, Ahmed takes care of Cervelli. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Now Mercer, after 2 ground ball outs. He's a career .326 hitter versus the Snakes. And a line drive past Goldschmidt. Interesting because Goldschmidt was well off the line, almost playing with a second baseman. Was often stationed.
Look at Mercer's approach on that at bat. He gets an 84 mile an hour high fastball, but he doesn't get out there and try and pull the ball just because it's sitting way up there high. He just goes and hits it the other way and hits it hard the other direction.
Now, what about for a pitcher? It'll be interesting to see what Cole does against a guy like, of course, Cole oftentimes is like a position player.
Cole's off to a slow start with the bat right now.
0 for 6.
He's been talking to himself a little bit, hitting.
5 strikeouts, 1 walk.
That's not his normal line when it comes to hitting. Watch Cole, the way he stands up there, and just then after he took that pitch, kind of his attitude is way different than a lot of other pitchers. At this point, he's no longer a pitcher in this ball game. He is one of the other players. And that's the way he looks at himself, and he should.
A chance to help himself with a bat in his hand. 1-2 now. Almost offered. 2-2. Last year, 174 average, 8 hits and 45 at bats, plus his first career home run in Chicago. That's where the Pirates are headed after this series. 3 with the Cubs, and then next weekend will be in St. Louis, taking on those Cardinals. Cardinals are shutting out the Brewers at this hour in Milwaukee, 3-0 in the 7th. And a line drive base hit to right.
Gotta love it, don't you?
Have to. Helping himself, that solid single to right field, his first hit of the young season.
And he's trying to get the ball to right. His approach to that is like a regular hitter. He had a nice 2-strike approach there. He's going to wait, stay inside the baseball, take the fastball the other direction. That's why he was able to lay off the breaking ball that bounced just barely in the dirt. 99% of pitchers, when they get 2 strikes, they're swinging at that pitch. But he was able to take that because he had what hitters call a 2-strike approach.
Josh Harrison singled up the middle to start the game. Mercer and Cole with 2 outs, back-to-back singles. Time called just as Cole Mentor was about ready to deliver the baseball. The home plate umpire is Tony Rendazzo. Let's see, Harrison yelled time and granted. 0-1.
You know, Jay Hay asked for time, but he's not taking his eye off the pitcher.
He's not taking it for granted.
Yeah, you don't know whether you're going to get time or not. So you have to still be ready to hit in case the Cole Mentor starts coming home and you hear nothing from the umpire. This is a live pitch.
Oh, 0-2. So Rendazzo behind the plate. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. Tom Woodring at second. Phil Cuzzy is at third. Originally, they had Woodring at first and Davis at second. They switched that before the game. Might be seeing this more often. They're trying to, I think, they won't say it, but I think they're trying to keep the so-called rookie umpires on the bases, at least for the first couple of games of the series. There's been some talk early this season that there were some rookie umpires behind the plate to start a series, and some managers weren't real happy with that. Drive toward the right center field gap. Over is Pollock. He won't get to it. This will score a couple of runs. And Harrison headed to third. Here's the throw. He is going to be out at third base. It'll go as a 2-run double for Jay Hay. And the Pirates take a 3-0 lead. Mercer and Cole score on the Jay Hay double. Center gap. Driving home Mercer and Cole.
I mean, he hits the heck out of this ball. It's funny too. The D-backs they were playing him to hit the other way by a bunch. They had just moved the outfield, and that's a big no-no. Getting thrown out at third base for the last out of the inning. You're at second base with one of our hotter hitters coming up in Polanco. You cannot get yourself thrown out, especially by that huge amount. Well, actually, you can't get yourself thrown out at all at third base to make the third out. There's 2 outs right now, and now you're in scoring position for the middle of the lineup. And now the inning is over. And great kudos for hitting that double. But You can't do that.
Pirates take a 3-0 lead.
Cole, hustling around, was able to get across home plate in time to score that second run. But Pollock out in center field had been playing way over into right center. And once they got 2 strikes, they moved him over a good probably 15 feet or so. And that's why that ball was able to get in that gap. They had him played right until there was 2 strikes, and then they moved the outfield. And that opened up that gap out there for Jay Hay to put the ball in. He does like that right center field gap.
Cole finishing up his warm-up tosses after scoring. Giving the Pirates a 3-0 lead. Happened with 2 outs. Mercer and Cole, the singles, and Harrison gets credit for a double.
Yeah, great job by Jay Hay with those 2 RBIs. Let's go back to that Cole at bat also. We're talking about here's a pitcher battling up there with 2 strikes, gets himself on base somehow, gets the base hit, and Jay Hay cashes it in, and now Cole's enjoying a 3-zip lead. Everything's important. Every single pitch. Can't take an at bat off, even if you're a pitcher. You know, find something, some way, get the ball put in play.
All right, Stuggy, thanks so much. Disappointing, certainly, for all Penguin fans. Very disappointing to see it end like that, but congratulations on really turned out to be a great year. So many positives. And we certainly don't want to get up on a soapbox talking about another sport, but I know we've talked about this before. In any sport, once you get to the postseason, you have to consider it. I mean, it's a great year, and it's not. I know what their goal was, but they got there, and we join this game in progress. The Pirates leading 3-0 as Yasmani Tomas bounces out to second, along with Bob Walker and Robbie Inch-Mikowski. Greg Brown here. We saw Neil Walker deliver a 2-out RBI single in the first that scored Gregory Polanco, who had reached on a fielder's choice and stole second. Josh Harrison's 2-run double brought home Jordy Mercer and Garrett Cole. Both had singled with 2 outs. Cole and the Pirates leading the Diamondbacks 3-0. And this is Chris Owings, the D-backs second baseman, who's hitting .220. Pirates are starting a 9-game road trip tonight in Phoenix, the first of 3 with the Diamondbacks. A club that last year finished with 98 losses, 64 and 98. Finishing last place in the West. They are 8-7 this year. The Pirates, after splitting the 4-game series against the Cubs, are 8-8. That is Chip Hale. He's in his first year as the skipper of the D-backs. And down on strikes goes Owings.
It seems to have no ill effect on having to circle the bases right there at the end. When did it all? Fires that fastball right by him upstairs. Another thing that we saw come on a little bit toward the end of last year, Cole using the upper part of that strike zone and even out of the strike zone up around the letters to good effect. When you throw as hard as he does, you have to take advantage of that letter high fastball.
Here is Tuffy Goswitch, the catcher. And a little flare to the second baseman. 1, 2, 3. And that is out number 3. Garrett Cole, but he still had work to do. Walker delivers this base hit off Josh Colmenter, giving Walker a 7-game hitting streak and 6 RBIs. Gregory Polanco scoring, and then in the second inning with 2 outs, and Jordy Mercer at second, Garrett Cole at first. They both had singled with 2 outs. Josh Harrison doubles into the right center field gap. Unwisely tried to stretch it into a triple. It was thrown out, but Jay Hay gets a couple of ribbies and gives the Pirates this 3-0 lead on a beautiful night. Yeah, the roof is open here at Chase Field, along with Bob Walk, Greg Brown, and kind of what we had hoped early on, get to that early lead, get to Colmenter. And you were talking about needing to be patient with a guy that does not throw hard.
Yeah, he's not going to throw the ball by anybody. His fastball is not very fast. It's going up there in the 85, 86 mile an hour range. You want to be patient, make sure they're getting good pitches to hit. And I'm hoping that not only we get some hits tonight, but we get the ball out of the ballpark. This is a great ballpark to hit some home runs as long as you keep the ball out of center field.
And a high fly ball to right field. Trumbo will come over toward the seats. It's out of play, as Polanco got under that one.
And what we're seeing, I think, so far in this ball game is Cole really getting himself off to a good start. Not only just throwing the ball, but also with the bat. Had that big base hit that extended the inning, and then got knocked in by Jay Hay. And Jay Hay being a catalyst for the offense like we saw so much last year. He's 2 for 2 already tonight. A couple RBIs.
Polanco pulls this to the right side. Easy for Owings. Chris Owings makes that routine play. Polanco 0 for 2. He bounced to Goldschmidt, the first baseman, in his first inning at bat, and now Andrew McCutchen. In McCutchen's first at bat, we talked about the fact that he has been hitting these Arizona Diamondbacks at quite a pace. In particular here, Chase Field hitting .460 in this ballpark his last 9 games. Since 2012, he's batting .417 against Arizona pitching. Only Troy Tulowitzki of the Rockies has a higher batting average over that span. The last time these two clubs met, things got a bit testy. It was early August last year. Ernesto Frieri, the Pirates reliever, hit Paul Goldschmidt on the hand late in the game when the Pirates were well out in front. Goldschmidt season ended with a broken hand the next day. Randall Delgado hit McCutchen square in the back in obvious retaliation. Two of the bright young stars in baseball in this series, Goldschmidt and McCutchen. Goldschmidt, the lone man on the right side of the infield. And this shift will have the second baseman Owings throw out McCutchen. We invite you to make your next group outing the event of the year at PNC Park. Put together a group of 15 or more and get special discounts. And ask how you could receive one-of-a-kind experiences like getting access to the field at PNC Park. Find out more. Go to pirates.com/groups or call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. Pirates on the road for a while. Will be returning to PNC Park May the 5th against the Reds. Walker the other way, and it is out of play. A first round pick, a 15th round pick, 15th rounder in 2007 out of Central Michigan.
Homer,
Michigan. Yep.
Odd name for hometown of a pitcher. Homer.
Probably would prefer not to be from Homer, but you can't sometimes pick your name or your place of birth, right, Bob Walk?
That's right.
Routine play for Goldschmidt. 1, 2, 3. And the Bucks.
I don't know about you, Greg. I have my volume all the way up.
I did too. I was cranking it. I like that.
I love that.
Root Sports brought in some bands over the winter and shot those. I hope you saw last Friday night. But every Friday night's theme, Friday Night Rocks, bringing in some local talent and filming that at Stage AE. And those songs written and performed by those local bands specifically for our Friday Night Rocks shows here on Root Sports. So great job by the Hawkeyes. As we're rocking from Phoenix tonight. The Pirates leading 3-0. Here is the pitcher, Josh Colmenter. For the second straight series, a manager bats his pitcher 8th in the lineup. In this case, it's Chip Hale. And a bouncer, and Cole stabs it. Little snow cone. And look out. A changeup in the dirt to Alvarez.
That's why you throw it slow so it's easy to catch.
Look at Cole's reaction. Oh, man. I can't believe I just did that.
That's why you throw it over there easy, so if it's offline, they got time to run it down.
Strike one on Ahmed. 136 hitter so far this season. He had a double in the 7th inning against Texas on Wednesday that snapped an 0 for 19 hitless string.
6 for 44. He's really off to a slow start.
Second round pick 4 years ago by the Diamondbacks.
Bad looking numbers up there. Only 1 extra base hit so far.
Former Brave. A diving stop by Harrison in the dirt. The pick by Pedro Alvarez.
Nice pick. Good play all the way. Great diving stop by Jay Hay, and then the finishing touch over there. Pedro picking it out of the dirt. And when you're going bad, you can't get a hit. These are the plays made against you.
Great shot from our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. The diving play made by Josh Harrison, and the other end out of the dirt by Alvarez. 2 up and 2 down. Top of the order. Here's Ender Inciarte. A couple of picks from Pedro.
Pedro's just going to keep getting better over there at first base. I really think that he's going to settle in nicely.
Inciarte bounced into the Pirates shift. The ball, his first time up, just to the other side of second base. Jordy Mercer is playing almost directly behind the bag. Two and one on Inciarte. Three and one.
Cole wanted that one. It might have been a strike. Take a look. Yeah, right there on the very edge of the strike zone.
Tony Randazzo called it a ball. It's 3 and 1. And up the middle, and a base hit.
Same spot he hit the other one.
This time hit hard. Yeah. The first hit nearly going. Comes with 2 outs in the 3rd for Arizona. Brings up A.J. Pollock. Hit a routine ground ball to Mercer in the 1st. Ball 1.
Cole got that ball back and just kind of held on to it for a second, didn't move back up the mound. A little bit of a pause. I think he might be having a little talk with himself about where the ball is going.
Yeah, Broken bat, base hit in the right field. Pollock has been swinging the hot bat lately. Over 450 his last 8 games. First and third with 2 outs for Goldschmidt.
How this bat got shattered right off the very tip. That really is where most of them get broke, when they hit out there right on the very end. Not necessarily the hand that makes them come apart like that. Well, now's a little tester. I said earlier that you don't want Goldschmidt to beat you, but in these situations when he comes up and there's really no place out there to put him, you just have to make great pitches.
First one there, 97.
I like the first one. Oh, now who's talking to himself?
This is quite an early battle. 3rd inning. Pirates lead 3-0, and Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best in baseball. And back-to-back 97-mile-per-hour fastballs from Garrett Cole, who seems determined to take care of Goldschmidt here.
There's a lot of hitters around that are talking about the kind of stuff that Cole has as a starting pitcher.
Runner goes from first, and a bouncer to Mercer. And that'll do it. Cole gives up back-to-back 2-out singles, but retires Goldschmidt on the bouncer to short. Pirates lead 3-0.
It's Mikowski on a night where we celebrate music here on Root Sports on Friday Night Rocks. The Diamondbacks have a few musicians sitting in their dugout, led by one of their pitchers who's not playing right now. That's Bronson Arroyo. This is less than 40 minutes before first pitch on opening day. Bronson Arroyo ran out to the concourse and played for about 20 minutes with a band of guys he knew, then ran down to the clubhouse and just made it in time for introductions on the field. Now he, along with Mark Trumbo, A.J. Pollock, and Aaron Hill, formed their own band that played at D-backs Fan Fest this past winter, Greg and Bob, and it's a pretty cool thing. Arroyo said, hey, it's something fun for them as well as the fans, and it gives them a chance to do something other than play baseball. And Mark Trumbo added, I'm more nervous playing music than I am playing baseball in front of a big crowd.
And Robbie, you know, Arroyo's got more time on his hands, unfortunately, because he is recovering from Tommy John surgery last summer. Mark Trumbo also had to deal with some injuries last year. Arroyo did a lot of that in Cincinnati, writing his own songs, performing for Reds fans, various charity events. Starling Marte, count of 1-2. I believe it's been what Pirates have drafted Bronson Arroyo 20 years ago. And down on strikes goes Marte. That is the first strikeout for Colementor.
see the strikeout pitch, and you'll also notice that only one pitch out of the 4 is in the strike zone. That goes back to the having patience and waiting to hit your pitch, not his.
Alvarez bounced back to a Cole Mentor his first time up. Let's see how patient he can be.
That first time up, he wasn't very patient. The pitch they bounced back was a ball that was up and away out of the strike zone.
And grounded to second. Join us Friday, May 8th, 4th annual Food Allergy Awareness Night at PNC Park, sponsored by Milan, when the Buccos take on the Cardinals at 7:05. Fans with food allergies can enjoy a safe night out with friends and family in a peanut-controlled section. Tickets $30 with $10 loaded value on each ticket. Good for food and beverage. For tickets, visit pirates.com/AAN. That next homestand at PNC Park, which starts May the 5th, a Tuesday night against the Reds. 3 with Cincy, 3 with St. Louis. Strike on Cervelli. He bounced out his first time up. One ball, one strike on the Pirates catcher.
I think Cervelli probably, when you're talking patience, might be the best guy in our lineup that shows that on a pretty much daily basis. He will have his at bat sometimes. He'll swing at the first pitch, go up there. Just a little bit off the plate inside. Coleman got the call.
And a fly ball toward right center field. Pollock is over. And veering off Trumbo to allow Pollock to make the catch. Pirates, for the second consecutive inning, go down in order.
Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Here in Phoenix, the Pirates lead the Diamondbacks 3-0.
A lot of Pirate gear in the stands, isn't it?
Always.
Before the game, met a couple of friends from one who used to live in California, and one of the first questions they asked, they said, "Why is everyone around here wearing Pirate stuff?"
We're in Phoenix.
I just said, "Well, it's just the way it is wherever we go."
0-2 count on Trumbo. Fly to right in the first. It really is incredible how often we see and how many more fans we see wearing Pirate gear. There's a ball roped into the right center field gap. And a bounce over that wall. Trumbo leads off with a double.
Well, that ball got out there in an awful hurry. Like there was a jet stream just moving it along. Oh, look where that pitch was, too, Greg.
Man.
It was like neck high. Wow. 95.
Man,
Tomahawk
can do that.
Not supposed to get to that one up there, but he did. Tip your hat.
And Tomas opposite field coming on. Polanco. One out, it'll bring up Chris Owings. Check out our day automotive this day in Pirates history. We're going way back. 1934. Pirates beat the Cardinals 5-4 in their home opener that year at Forbes. Bucks were trailing 4-2 in the ninth inning. Freddie Lindstrom hit a 3-run home run off Jesse Haynes for the walk-off victory at Forbes Field on this day in 1934. Freddie Lindstrom, a longtime Giant, spent some time with the Pirates and went into the Hall of Fame. Strike one on Chris Owings. There's also on this date, I noticed, Bob, 1988. April 24th, 1988. You go 6 1/3 innings, give up just one earned run. You beat Rick Sutcliffe and the Cubs on this day. Here's a bouncing ball. We talk about base running blunders. Josh Harrison earlier in the game, and here Mark Trumbo with the play right in front of him, thrown out easily at third.
That is just unexcusable at this level. I mean, watch, ground ball right in front of you. You're out 100 out of 100 times on that. You cannot do that. That just, and there's nothing you can say. You have to go back and just say, hey, well, my mind went blank. I don't know.
Tuffy goes switch. Cole and the Pirates will certainly take it.
Yeah, you take yourself out of scoring position.
I wonder what he could even be saying now to his teammates.
But there's nothing to say.
Cliff Pennington is asking him.
Did I mess that one up? Wow. I don't know what I did.
Go switch lined out to Neil Walker in the second. Go switch, 31 years old, from Freeport, Illinois, was originally an 11th round pick of the Phillies in 2005 out of Arizona State. Traded to the Blue Jays 3 years ago and signed as a minor league free agent in November of 2012 by the D-backs. They traded their all-star catcher Miguel Montero over the winter to the Cubs. 1-2 on go switch. A lot of changes around here going back to last season. They fired Kirk Gibson. I mentioned that Tony La Russa 1 year ago was named the chief baseball officer. He hired his old buddy and former Oakland Athletics ace Dave Stewart as the general manager. They fired Kevin Towers. They hired away Dejon Watson from the Dodgers to be their senior VP of baseball operations. They took an assistant away from Dave Dombrowski of the Tigers, Mike Russell, to head their pro scouting as Tony La Russa looks on. Hall of Famer Tony La Russa. Bounding ball foul. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Astros made those changes, looking to build this organization back to prominence. And down on strikes. There was Tuffy go switch.
Can't be done. Somebody told me that nothing's impossible. Impossible is done. Looks fear in the face and say you can't stay here. Looks fear in the face and say you can't stay here. Looks fear in the face and say you can't stay here. You can't stay here.
Some of the plays from this past week at PNC Park on Friday Night Rocks.
You know what was really neat about that last play with Harrison, the glove to glove shovel to first. He was playing third at the time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't think there's been too many glove to gloves,
No,
5-3.
That's
scored.
true. Jordy Mercer leading off the 5th inning. 6 straight retired by Colementor since the Harrison 2-run double in the 2nd. On a strike on Mercer. Colementor, the Diamondbacks last year went 17-11. 17-11 when he started. They are missing a couple of starters. We've already mentioned Bronson Arroyo. And pitching mate Patrick Corbin, Tommy John surgery. They dealt Wade Miley.
Mercer right now, he's showing that patience we were talking about. He's waiting for him to come into the heart of that strike zone.
And drills it to deep center field, but room in front of the track for Pollock.
It's the place you don't want to hit the ball here in this ballpark. Center field has got some size to it. But you pull the ball straight away left, straight away right, it will jump out of here. There's a lot of territory in center. It's 407 to dead center, but then it actually gets deeper. Goes out to 413, where you see that little yellow line go vertical.
Garrett Cole picked up his first hit of the season. A 2-out single to right in the 2nd. He and Mercer scored on the Harrison double. Now 1 for 7 at the plate. Last 7 games, Diamondbacks starters have gone 3-1 with a 1.88 ERA. 1-2 strikes the count. Pitching staff under Mike Harkey is the pitching coach. We just saw a shot of Tony La Russa, his longtime pitching coach. Dave Duncan seated next to him. Strike 3 called. 2 down, nobody on, and top of the order, Josh Harrison will be coming up. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Charlie Morton trying to come back from the hip surgery. Went on the DL just before the start of the season. Pitched in a rain-shortened extended spring game yesterday, just 1 inning. Tries to return to form down in Bradenton, Florida. Jay Hay 2 for 2. Single up the middle to start the ball game, and then double into the right center gap. Was thrown out at third.
Pollock's, he's cheating back over to that right center area again out in center field. They're trying to take that gap away.
And toward right center once again. Over is Trumbo toward the gap, and Trumbo makes the catch as he crosses over the warning track. Nine-year-old Jared Haw sacrifices to help other kids through Clint Hurdle's charity and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, debuts tomorrow after postgame on Root Sports. And the first pitch to the pitcher, Cole Mentor, is a strike. Now the bottom of the 5th inning, and Cole Mentor has gotten on a roll on the mound. He's set down 9 straight Pirates. Three for 8 at the plate this season. And a bouncer weakly hit to second. One away. Easy for Walker. Cole trying to start this season 3-0. His last start was against the Milwaukee Brewers. He went 6 innings, gave up a couple of runs, just 1 earned on 5 hits. This is his second career start against the D-backs. He made a start a couple of years ago at PNC Park. Beat Brandon McCarthy. Nick Ahmed bounced to third, and Josh Harrison made a great stop on it. Pedro Alvarez made a nice pick on the other end. That play back in the 3rd inning. Ahmed, a second-round pick of the Braves in 2011, and traded to the D-backs 2 years later. out of the University of Connecticut. One and two. Down on strikes. Cervelli over to first to retire Ahmed. 3 Ks now for Garrett Cole.
Cervelli really had to dance a long ways to his left to find himself some room to throw that ball. Ahmed going down the line way out of the grass. Chest protector. Once he picked up that ball, I mean, watch Cervelli have to really dance a long ways to his left. Ahmed going down well on the grass. Not supposed to be where he's running.
If that ball had hit him,
you would hope you would get a call there, but you're never sure.
Right.
I mean, what if nobody says a word? I guess, I don't know. Nowadays, is that a reviewable call? I suppose it is. Should be. If it's not,
it should be.
I guess they should all be. If you're going to review anything, review them
right. Ender Inciarte is one of the 3 D-backs hits. And grounds this to the right side. The backhand by Walker, and Garrett Cole.
Pitch count way down.
1, 2, 3 inning. Yep, just 3 Ks, and that means the pitch count is down.
Scoring hits. Well, if you take a walk around any clubhouse or locker room, one thing is almost as common as bats and baseball gloves are stereo systems. Now, the Pirates don't just play random music before each game. They have a certain type of music for each day of the week, and there's a look at the list. It's compiled by a bunch of different guys, and someone will drop in their iPod and play the music. Now, the list stays the same, whether at home or on the road. The clubhouse DJ may change from year to year, but the one thing that has stayed the same, Greg and Bob, is the variety of music in the Bucks clubhouse. Now, this is pregame only. There's always upbeat music played after wins in the clubhouse. And look at Friday night. Rock music every Friday in the clubhouse pregame.
Friday Night Rocks. Staying with the theme from Root Sports. Clint Hurdle, an old rocker. He's got quite a playlist. As Gregory Polanco takes ball 1. Polanco, McCutchen, Walker. Polanco is 0 for 2. With a stolen base, he reached on a fielder's choice and scored the first run. Pirates trying to get something going here against Comenter. He's retired 9 straight.
Yeah, the key is to not hit his pitches. That's what's been happening here of late. Working a lot of stuff on the edge. There's another ball that's an easy out. That's not a strike. It's not in the strike zone. That's not being patient.
I'd love to hear from you tonight. I've been watching that Penguins game earlier. This one joined in progress. The Pirates taking a 3-0 lead in the second inning. Our Point Park University tweets. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Send us your comments, your questions, your thoughts, observations about the first 16 games of the year. This is game number 17 as the Pirates look to go over 500. They begin this long road trip. Here is Andrew McCutchen. Again, hashtag Bucks Booth with your comments, thoughts, and questions. McCutchen has flied to right and bounced to second. They had the overshift on in the third inning with the second baseman Owings playing on the left side of the infield. And now they keep him on the right side.
There were 2 strikes and move the outfield a long ways. They do that a lot.
Shifting from pitch to pitch.
Yeah, with the outfield. Now, when Jay was up there and they did it, when 2 strikes came, they moved the outfield to the pull side. They were playing him to hit the other way. With McCutchen was exactly the opposite. They were playing him not to pull but straight up, and then with 2 strikes, both center field and right field moved for him to hit the ball the other way by a good 15 feet.
Can you figure why they would have their second baseman play on the left side of the infield one at bat and now go back over the other side this at bat?
It's the light. The sun was out earlier,
that's right.
And now it's dark.
That's right.
You got to adjust to the lighting.
Makes sense. Third strikeout for
Coleman's adjusted.
Yeah, he has. That's 11 straight set down since the Josh Harrison 2-run double in the second.
The lights really take effect when it gets dark.
Yeah.
You can see in the dugout better. And
Right.
Oh, they're moving me over here. Early in the game, you can't see that.
Yeah, he was doing that on his own. Couldn't see anybody in the dugouts. Now I'm going to play over here on the left side. 0-1 on Walker. 2 outs, no one on.
That reminds me of one of my favorite Tommy Sant stories.
1 hopper. And we'll talk about the former Pirates first base coach when we come back. It is incredible. A 3-14 Brewers club as Polanco racing toward the foul line. Look at this thoroughbred. Long strides, those arms.
He doesn't look like he's running real fast,
Right.
but he is just eating up so much ground with those long strides.
Look where he starts. way back there. And in a short amount of time, he makes the catch in foul territory.
In foul territory, that ball is going to hit on the track in foul territory.
Fun to watch him play.
And he has fun playing. He really enjoys it. That's what I think is one of the things with all star players. You know, and you see some guys, I guess, maybe toward the end of their career, they're getting kind of grumpy and stuff, but most of the star players, they just love it. They have so much fun out there, especially in their prime.
Garrett Cole loves to play. He loves the competition. We have a Point Park University tweet from Yinzerberg. Love that Cole went right at Goldschmidt. He wanted to challenge him and rose to the occasion. Talking about that at bat in the third inning.
He certainly didn't do any. Wasn't paying attention to my tips. I mean, he absolutely went right at him. He threw him 3 fastballs in the heart of the strike zone.
Look at this stat here,
and then it was a little surprising when I heard about that.
97 plus. He hits 200.
The brain found that one.
There's a base hit off a 94 mile-per-hour fastballs. Goldschmidt has a 1-out single. He's on base for the second time.
Took a little bit off that fastball. It was a 2-seamer. It had a little down and in movement, but I guess if you can call 94 lack of velocity, but because it was a little slower than the other fastballs he'd been seeing, he was able to quickly get the head of the bat to it, and it was down and in, which is an easier fastball to hit than one that's up and in.
It'll be interesting to watch how he approaches Trumbo. Remember, Trumbo led off the 4th inning with a double to right center field, a pitch that was up and out of the zone.
I don't think he'll pitch him up.
No.
Or at least not up and out over the plate. If he comes upstairs, got to be on the hands.
And that's where it was.
Yep, got it way in, and it went way high. 2 outs. Check out this location. They want it up and in on the hands. Boom, put it right there. Perfect. He just couldn't quite get the head of the bat out to the ball. If that drifts out over the plate, center of the plate, he may have hit that one a long, long way.
Now the Cuban sensation, Yasmani Tomas. D-backs not real sure how they're going to approach the playing time for Tomas. Really a first baseman. And with Paul Goldschmidt there, I have to find some other spot. He's playing third base tonight. Recalled from AAA 9 days ago. Made his first start 3 days ago against the Rangers at third base. Tomas was signed to a 6-year, $68.5 million deal by the D-backs. .6'2", 230 pounds. Talked about this guy maybe having potential like game-changing power down the road. Bouncing ball and into right field, and there's a situation where Pedro Alvarez, with time, I think will realize that it's a play he could take a couple of steps to his right and make the play. A base hit for Tomas. Garrett Cole figures he's going to cover first, but not happy that that ball wasn't flagged down. That's a routine ground ball. First and second with 2 outs, and Chris Owings at the plate.
You know how badly Cole would love to get a complete game and pitch count. He's only thrown just through number 70. So he's got a chance if he can get a quick third out here to maintain that pace and maybe have a shot at it. If the Diamondback hitters cooperate, keep making outs.
He's only struck out 3, and that goes into that equation.
Yeah.
Why the pitch
ball
count is down.
Put in play, you get quicker outs. You don't throw as many pitches.
He's got 6 innings each of his last 2 starts. And now a little frustration.
What happened with that pitch?
He's wondering what he did.
Yeah. It was a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Just took off up and away. It was just 85. I don't know what that was. Did you see the little, like a sign he was given?
3-1.
What does that mean, Greg?
You and me, we're locked in.
Is that what it means?
Yeah. You put that sign down, I'm going with it. Bouncing ball headed up the middle. Shortstop can't make it. Diving stop by Walker. Gets to his feet. Throws 3 hops to the plate. Safe call there. Goldschmidt scores. Fabulous play by Walker to make the stop, but a 3-hopper to Cervelli. And Goldschmidt able to slide in. They're checking to see if they want to challenge this.
It looked like he was safe, but throw kind of offline just a little bit. I don't know, Greg. I see a tag. Did you see a tag there?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought I did.
All right, well, so did Clint Hurdle, so he's going to come out, and they are going to challenge it.
I think I see a tag, right? No, I didn't see it.
Allegheny Health.
Is the ball in his hand or the glove? It's in his hand. Yeah. No, absolutely no tag.
Right.
They would not win that one.
Well, they're going to challenge it. They're going to lose the challenge. Well, this is not a good challenge here.
No,
this is a kind of a waste of a challenge.
You know, I think that might be a little frustration coming out too.
You can ask the umpires to review going to the 7th inning on, but you're out of challenges if you lose the challenge. Again, a great stop by Neil Walker.
Did not get off a very good throw, though. Even with the throw coming in on a couple of bounces, if it would have been on line, they still would have had an easy out. But it was up the first base line just a little bit. Cervelli had to go get the ball and then try to come back and make that tag.
The call confirmed, and it's 3-1. Gosewich has lined out and struck out. Real brisk 46 seconds. Didn't take long. He's trying to speed that up. Saw the story in the USA Today sports section today from Bob Nightingale about the fact that average time of game is down the first 3 weeks of the season.
Keeping those guys in that box. Not letting them take their walks around out of the grass.
Cut off 8 minutes from the average time of game. 0-2. Brad Ziegler is starting to loosen in the bullpen. The pitcher spot due up next. But Garrett Cole strikes out. Go switch for the second time. D-backs are on the board. Network Supermo, and Josh Colmenter faces Starling Marte, and Marte rips it down the line and left. That quickly snaps the string of retired batters, 12 straight by Colmenter. Marte didn't mess around.
No, got something down and in, but down and in the strike zone, and he just drops the head of the bat right to it, inside corner, just above the knees. And that's an easy pitch to get the head of the bat to. Not like it's up on the hands. That's what we were talking about earlier when Trumbo was up there. The same type deal. It doesn't really matter the velocity. It's in that location. When it's down and in, they just quickly can just drop the head of the bat right to the baseball, almost like a golf swing. When it's up, they got to get the head of the bat out and around to get it to the ball.
Chip Hale makes the pitching change.
property of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Garrett Cole has given up 1 run. The Pirates lead 3-1. They look to get that run back. And here is the veteran lefty, another former Bucco, 33-year-old Oliver Perez.
No, you were talking earlier about seeing players still around and thinking about when they were the Pirate, how it makes you feel kind of old. I mean, how long ago does it feel that Pirates traded for Jason Bay and Oliver Perez, and then there's Oliver out there on the mound right now in front of us.
Yep,
long time. I mean, he was a extremely hard thrower, a little on the wild side, big sweeping breaking ball, racking up some strikeouts every game.
Perez,
not like that anymore.
239 strikeouts in his 2004 season with the Bucks. And Corey Hart pinch hitting for Pedro Alvarez, nearly got that inside the bag.
We've seen Hart be very aggressive when he comes off the bench for a pinch hit. He likes to go up there swinging.
Just in case Marte is thinking about taking off. Well, Pedro Alvarez, this is the difference of this year's club. Pirates' reason went out and got Corey Hart is exactly for these situations. Teams would bring in lefties mid or later in the ball games. And Alvarez struggling against left-handed pitching. They brought in a guy who over the years has been solid against lefties, and you look at his career numbers against Perez, 462 average. Corey Hart. And Perez out in front, 0-2. And he strikes him out.
To get that first one tucked inside third base. Oliver Perez is still able to get the strikeout. Lefty strike zone with that one.
He was out there to get one guy. Chip Hale uses one of his 2 lefties.
He was out there to get Alvarez. Got Hart instead.
Yeah. Starling Marte led off this inning with a double against Josh Colmenter. Oliver Perez struck out pinch hitter Corey Hart. Now the veteran Brad Ziegler making his 253rd appearance with the Diamondbacks, which matches Jose Valverde for the club record in appearances. And Francisco Cervelli takes a strike.
Ziegler's numbers so far this year, not too shabby. 6 games, not giving much at all up. 6 innings of work, no walks, throwing strikes.
Came over in a deal with the Oakland A's summer of 2011. 0-2 on Cervelli. Cervelli bounced to short, fly to center against Colmenter, who once again did not get much run support. His last 6 home starts, including tonight, while in the game, he got 4 runs total in 38 innings. Wanted to.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I like that other stat you gave earlier. That what was it, 17 and 11 last year in his starts.
Yeah.
I mean that
team
I
wins
think
games.
Yeah, when he's out there, I think you got to look at that sometimes too, because you do get into some ruts where you just don't get the runs when you're pitching.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you didn't, have a big part in a win. The W went by somebody else's name.
Well, he certainly kept his club in this one. Pirates got off to that strong start. Neil Walker's 2-out single in the first, and then Josh Harrison with 2 outs doubled home Jordy Mercer and Garrett Cole, but was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple for the final out of that second inning, and that's been it. And again, Ziegler concerned what Marte might be thinking over there.
Yeah, with 1 out, you have to really watch somebody like Marte. This is the time where it's very important for him to get the third if he could.
Popped up, and that'll go out of play. Cervelli 4 early RBIs in his first season with the Bucks. Another foul. Two and 2. Jordy Mercer on deck. Garrett Cole hoping his club can bring home at least another run and get that lead back to 3. Cervelli continues to battle.
You know who Cervelli just now dawned on me watching him hit up there with the battling and
right.
It's like watching Don Slot.
It was a slot move.
Yeah, they'll just same type of at bats. Just good idea of the strike zone.
Fly ball toward center field. Pollock, 2 outs. Get to the game Thursday, May 7th. Bucks take on the Reds at 7:05. Central Division Showdown. One of the first 20,000 fans. And you get a Clint Hurdle Gnome presented by Trib Total Media. For tickets, go to pirates.com. This will be a big item Thursday, May 7th. 7:05, the Clint Hurdle Gnome for the first 20,000 fans.
Yeah, big crowd that night.
Yep. Well, they'll intentionally walk Mercer. Get to Cole. Pirates 8-8. They won 4 of the 7 meetings with the Diamondbacks last season and split a 4-game set here in August. Before Garrett Cole steps in, we'll head to the studio. Rob King, the game break. Big showdown at Yankee Stadium. Michael Pineda starting for the Yankees. And this ball chopped toward third. And a force at third. And Tomas ends the Pirates' threat. 7th inning stretch, 3-1 Bucks. For the Diamondbacks in the first of a 3-game series, Sean Rodriguez now at first base. He'll bat in that 6th spot of the order. Pedro Alvarez 0 for 2 and left for the pinch hitter Corey Hart. And now Garrett Cole faces Danny Dorn. He was a non-roster invitee to spring training, started this season in the minor leagues. 10 years in the minor leagues. Many of those seasons in the Reds system. And finally getting an opportunity to play in the big leagues. Made his major league debut as a pinch hitter 3 days ago. Drew a walk against the Rangers. Signed as a minor league free agent by the Diamondbacks before the 2014 season. And Cole makes quick work of a longtime minor leaguer, Danny Dorn. Pinch hitter.
A couple of really good breaking balls last 2 pitches. This one in the bottom just falls right out of.
So here we are, 1 out into the 7th inning, and just his 4th start, but the longest outing so far for him.
80 pitches so far. Not bad being in the 7th inning.
Strike 1. Strike 2. dribbler. Cole says he has it. He'll bare hand and throw to first. 2 outs. Nissan Road ahead tomorrow night. 7:30 first pitch. A.J. Burnett, who's pitched very well, looking for his first W, will oppose Ruby De La Rosa. And then on Sunday afternoon, it's Francisco Liriano against Jeremy Hellickson. 2 more with these Diamondbacks on Nissan Road ahead before the Pirates head to Chicago. There's Ender Inciarte. He has 1 of the 6 hits. A 3rd inning base hit to center field in the 3rd.
And twice he's hit a ball over to the shortstop side of second base trying to beat the shift. One time Mercer was able to get to it. The second time he hit it quite a bit harder and was able to get it through there.
Strike 1. And a line drive over the head of the 3rd baseman Harrison. Ciarte, a 2-hit night. Came in batting .310. He's aboard for A.J. Pollock.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball. He still was able to go the other way with it. He definitely is committed to hitting the ball not into that shift but the other direction tonight.
Paul Goldschmidt is on deck. This is a large at bat.
Yep. You know, this is kind of what you really mean when you try and pitch around somebody. It doesn't mean necessarily not throwing the ball in the strike zone to the guy we're talking about. It's bearing down on the guy before and after the hitter you don't want to beat you, so that he doesn't get up there where you have to throw him strikes. So you absolutely agree with you 100%. This is where you got to end the inning right here. Have Goldschmidt lead off.
It's a big first strike. And Pollock has bounced a ball to the shortstop Mercer, and a broken bat single to right field in the 3rd inning, and fouled out to Gregory Polanco in right his last time. Goldschmidt on deck. 0-1. 24,427 on hand here in Phoenix tonight. And a couple of strikes. Big 2 strikes now for Cole against A.J. Pollock, who came in batting .358. A little bit of work there from Cervelli, maybe. Tony Randazzo called that a strike. 0-2 on Pollock. And hits this in the air toward right. And Polanco is over and out of play. Now Cervelli wants to talk to Cole here. This is
He's telling him they got to make a better pitch out too. They got away with one there. A fastball out over the plate down the middle, about bell high. They say, hey, we're way ahead. 0-2 count. We can't make a mistake here. Goldschmidt's on deck. See that ball drift right back down the middle. And what Cervelli wanted was a ball that actually off the plate a little bit, and if it came back, if it drifted back, to drift back maybe and catch the corner.
Did he go? He did, said the home plate umpire Tony Randazzo. Great work by Cervelli to talk to Garrett Cole about that. They went with a breaking ball. They strike out Pollock, and they lead 3-1.
is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin Furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
UPMC scoreboard, the Pirates lead the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-1 going to the 8th inning. It'll be the top of the Bucco batting order. Josh Harrison, Gregory Polanco, and Andrew McCutchen. The story tonight has been Garrett Cole, who's seated there in the background next to Ray Searage and Evan Marshall. He turned 25 years old the other day. Becomes the 4th pitcher to work for the D-backs. As a rookie last year, finished with a 2.74 ERA and 57 outings.
Not so good so far.
No.
Opponent batting average 4.17. Realize it's just 6 games, but still, he's going to have to get that under control. And it might take better control. It's usually the answer. Jay, the big hit of the night.
2-run double in the second with 2 outs. Trying to stretch it into a triple.
Out there by the swimming pool. Well, last year we had a group of firefighters from Pittsburgh out
I
of the
thought
pool.
they told us they were coming back this year. We'll see them there tomorrow night. .63. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be back, right? Well behaved.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh firefighters. No reason why they couldn't enjoy another night out at the pool. I'm sure the Diamondbacks were kind hosts.
Looks awfully quiet out there tonight.
Yeah. Well, last year they were having a lot of fun. Gregory Polanco will be coming to the plate. 1 out, top of the 8th. Polanco 0 for 3. He's 3 times grounded to the right side of the infield. And in the dirt, he offered.
It's all right. Got 2 left. Where's my home run at?
Well, it was one of your tips to win, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's get one over the fence. Come on, guys.
A long wall.
A long wall. Only 1 Cole left out there.
Bouncer to the shortstop. And Ahmed throws out Polanco.
Maybe it'll be cut, huh?
He does love to hit here. Coming into this game, last 9 games, batting at a .467 clip in this stadium. Tonight he's flied to right, bounced to second, and struck out. Two and 0. Now, after a 2-0 count, they flipped their second baseman.
Yeah.
They put him on the left side now.
Infield shifted into pull mode.
When it got to 2-0, the second baseman, Owings, was over on the right side the first 2 pitches, but when it got to 2-0, they flip him over to the left side. And now it's 3-0.
I thought it was Son.
Yeah, you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Yeah. And I bought your explanation too. Shame on me. I actually believed you. A 4-pitch walk to McCutchen. That's the first unintentional walk by a D-back. Neil Walker drove in the first run in the first inning. A ground single to right brought in Gregory Polanco. He also has pulled the ball 3 times to the right side. And this is fouled away the other way. Remember, Paul Goldschmidt and Mark Trumbo will be coming up to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Pirates would dearly love to get a run or two here in the top of the 8th inning. They'd have to do it with 2 outs.
You never want to get that early lead, just sit on it the whole game. You start getting very nervous. Absolutely love to somehow pick up one more run before this is all done. Trying to make sure that Kutch doesn't get a very big lead. Outfield awfully deep, playing no doubles. Way back there, especially out right field.
One ball, one strike. 2-1. To work Walker away. And a fly ball towards center field, sending Pollock back toward the wall, and it's going to be over his head. Andrew McCutchen will race home. Neil Walker comes up with a clutch 2-out double to give the Pirates a 4-1 lead in the 8th.
Now how about that? They're playing no doubles and he gets it over their head anyway. They might have a little talk with Pollock. Say, hey, when we tell you to play no doubles, that means if it's over your head, it better be a home run. It can't be over your head and still stay in the ballpark. That's going to be a situation where somebody can score all the way from first. And Pollock, he was playing deep, but not as deep as they were in right, and you could see that he had no chance of catching this ball, and it's still in the park. In fact, the sign for no doubles is they look out at you and they take their hand and they put it behind their head, which tells you don't let anything get over your head.
By the way, we just saw a great shot. Anybody wondering if Andrew McCutchen isn't fine? He just took off from first to home. Full sprint mode. Nothing wrong with Andrew McCutchen. Mike Harkey, pitching coach, out to talk with Evan Marshall. The Pirates get a run back for Cole. Andrew McCutchen walked and scores on the Neil Walker double, and here's Starling Marte. He doubled to start the 7th.
And that, as we said, that's a huge run.
Yep.
Get the lead back to 3. That's a big clutch double by Walker. He's coming through in a big way.
2 ribbies tonight for him.
And it's one thing to step up there and get that 2-out base hit to knock in a run, but to get a 2-out double when they're playing no doubles, that's hard to do.
Liner toward right field, and the Trumbo to make the catch. Buccos pick up another run. We are rocking and rolling on a Friday night. Friday Night Rocks in Phoenix. Top of the 8th inning. Neil Walker has driven in 2 of the 4 hits. Did it in the first inning and did it moments ago in the top of the 8th inning. We were wondering about our firefighters from Pittsburgh, why they might not be out in the pool, and we get this tweet from Christopher Hayner. Missing cheering on our Pirates from the pool since the D-backs wouldn't let us back. Hashtag no fun zone. How about that? Too much fun.
Yeah, I guess.
We're doing the cannonballs.
That's frowned upon in this establishment.
Yep. Paul Goldschmidt on base twice. Here you see 90 pitches for Garrett Cole.
He'll come back next year, just change names. Buy tickets on their alias.
Absolutely.
No, we're not farming.
No. We're friends of Bob Walk. 0-2 on Goldschmidt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pirates will get someone loosening in their bullpen. Clint Hurdle maybe thinking he'll let Cole, if he can, get through the 8th.
I think it was your fault.
It was mine?
Every time they jumped in the pool, they yelled cannonball coming.
Yeah. Get that warning track wet a little bit.
Yeah, I do remember they had fun out there. I guess a little bit too much.
2-2. So the righty-lefty combo of Hughes and Bastardo for the Pirates. Cole would love to give Clint Hurdle 8. Twice in his career. He has gone 8 innings. Cole is making his 45th career start tonight. Falls behind 3-2.
The velocity certainly hasn't dropped off at all. That last pitch, I believe I saw 98.
There's 98.
Still plenty strong.
He last went 8 innings on May the 7th against the Giants. Towards center field and right at McCutchen.
Routines.
1 down. And the Pirates continue this series against the D-backs tomorrow night. A.J. Burnett take the hill here at Chase Field. Our coverage starts at 7:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason. Mark Trumbo takes a strike. He's 1 for 3. Cole now out in front, 0-2. Garrett Cole was the Pirates' first pick, the first pick overall in the 2011 draft out of UCLA. First onto the scene 2 years ago. Won 10 games as a rookie.
He throws like a first pick overall.
Yeah, he does.
Plays the entire game that way.
That takes care of Trumbo with his 7th strikeout.
We're talking about keeping the pitch count down, not striking out a lot of people, but
well, now you almost feel like he's going to the whip.
Got 7 now.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
yeah,
he probably knows this is it for him. And 1 more out to get. He would be due up 4th in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, there's no reason to save anything.
Yeah. Maybe try and end it with back-to-back strikeouts. He has struck out 4 of the last 7 batters he's faced. Oh, did he go?
Yeah, I thought
Sean Rodriguez is asking for an appeal. They didn't even ask for one. Pirates first baseman Sean Rodriguez pointed to the first base umpire.
They don't allow the first baseman to ask.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I'd always ask if I thought he just kind of quivered or something. I'd ask. I mean, what can they say?
Well, we always talk about that.
That's all they.
No reason.
Yeah, they can say no.
Yep.
But there's never any.
You're not limited to the number of appeals.
Yeah, just ask. Yep. You might get a call.
Well, now it's 2-2, and see if Cole can take care of Yasmani Tomas, who has grounded to second, fly to right, and single to right. Maybe Cole's last pitch of the ball game. 3-2.
He went for the strikeout. He threw his swing and miss breaking ball, put it in a pretty good spot. Good job by Tomas not going after that one.
And even wonder, with the bullpen ready, might Cole have to get Tomas to even stay in the game? Well, this could very well be his last pitch regardless. He'll have to do it again. Still 3-2.
They wanted that ball away, but I actually like the spot he threw it in better. If he's laying off a breaking ball like that just off the plate like he did on the 2-2 pitch, then that means he's in a 2-strike situation, and he's not going to be able to catch up to anything up and in. And almost got that one by.
Another 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. And Cole with a brief look toward his dugout to see if Clint Hurdle might be coming out. Here comes Chris Owings, and here comes Clint Hurdle. That is going to be it for Garrett Cole. Will end up leaving after 108 pitches and leading 4-1. New pitcher coming on will be coming back. Cole.
This was a great game for him. Really in charge the entire time, and did it in a very kind of easy, not almost breaking his sweat fashion early in the ball game. Didn't throw very many pitches in those first 5 innings, and then, as you said, kind of went to the whip a little later. Ended up getting 7 strikeouts, 7 2/3 innings.
Well, you look
fun to watch.
How many balls were hit hard off of him? The Trumbo double, certainly.
Yeah.
There was 1 broken bat hit. There was the infield single.
And Ciarte hit that ball through just to
left to second.
Yeah, he hit that one firm.
Yep.
That's about it.
Now it's Jared Hughes. He faces Chris Owings. Owings had the infield RBI single in the 6th. The diving stop made by Neil Walker on the outfield grass, and then Walker threw about a 3-hopper to Cervelli. Paul Goldschmidt able to score. And Walker has driven in 2 of the 4 Pirate runs. Yeah, they're going to get the man here.
No, they didn't.
Nope. Took just a little too long.
It did. It took forever.
He stepped off, but then too long to get that throw to Walker.
Just can't. You got to be a little bit quicker than that. You realize you don't want to rush, but.
Couple of strikes on Owings. Jared Hughes.
It's kind of an odd. We've seen some odd base runner things tonight. How about that one there? Down 4-1
right
in the 8th inning.
And you're lucky you're not thrown out.
You take off for second before the pitch is thrown. I mean, you should have been out easy.
Yeah.
Should have been out no problem whatsoever. I just don't understand that. I don't understand why he ran.
Makes no sense. Cole goes 7 2/3, 7 hits, couple of walks, 7 strikeouts. Hughes, his first outing since that Wednesday game against the Cubs. The Cubs came back, scoring a couple of runs, but the Pirates won it 4-3 on Wednesday night. An odd outing for Hughes. Not retiring a batter. Gave up 3 hits and a walk. Ripped down the line in left field. Foul. Oh, he jumped on that pitch. Here's Owings.
We've seen some down and in fastballs hit pretty well tonight. That's what you're going to see right there. That ball down and in and off down the line. Had a little bit too much draw though on that ball.
Cole just watching that line foul. Struck him out. Jared Hughes leaves that runner on. Some hugs for Cole. Friday night rocks, the Hawkeyes. Can't wait for Friday nights. Part of our weekly feature, local bands, and the Pirates leading 4-1. The ninth inning begins with Sean Rodriguez at the plate, his first at bat. Facing Evan Marshall.
That attempt he made on that fly ball out in the notch.
That was impressive. That was talk about sacrificing your body. All out effort.
See, that's the kind of thing as a teammate I think you're impressed with. Regardless whether the ball was caught or anything. It just, and it had to be pretty tough too. He just jumped right back up, went to his position.
Right.
I mean, he slammed into that wall, sliding head first.
That was yesterday in the second inning. Jonathan Herrera of the Cubs hit a ball to the left center gap toward the notch, and Rodriguez laid out under that crushed brick and wasted no time. Got right back up. There was no theatrics.
I mean, when you're standing on the mound and you see guys out there doing that kind of thing, you just that means an awful lot to you.
Out on strikes goes Rodriguez. First out here in the ninth inning. Marshall gave up a run in the eighth on a Walker double. Francisco Cervelli looks for his first hit. Both clubs with 7 hits. The Pirates leading 4-1. Mark Melancon has started to loosen in the Pirates' pen. Melancon, good to see him with a 1-2-3 save yesterday over the Chicago Cubs 5-4. There's Mark the Shark. Cole 3 outs away from going 3-0. Bounce left side. Tomas waits for that last hop. And retires Cervelli.
That's what you want to do. Read the ground ball. Get a nice long hop. Talking a little pitching. Talking about tomorrow a little bit.
Burnett goes tomorrow.
Saying, exactly I got to do is throw 97 up here. And AJ's going, well, you got a time machine? AJ used to throw 97. I don't think he's done that in maybe a couple seasons. You see the two of those guys. Two different ends of their career.
Right.
Just starting.
Yep.
Just ending. Very similar, though. You know, big, hard throwers. A neat shot.
It's awfully true. Burnett, when he first started out, a hard throwing power pitcher for the Marlins back in the late 90s. Three and 2 on Mercer. Still 3 and 2.
Mr. Mercer hopes he didn't have to bunt for a while.
Yeah. Could have been a lot worse. Fastball to the chest.
He said today, well, when I think about it, just go up fine. I'm thinking he'll be thinking about it a little bit. Go through his mind. Would mind.
Just foul. Mercer singled with 2 outs in the second. Garrett Cole followed with a base hit, and then Josh Harrison doubled into the right center gap to give the Pirates a 3-0 lead. D-backs made it 3-1 in the 6th. The Pirates got the run back on a Neil Walker double in the 8th. Walker has driven in a pair. And Josh Harrison, 2 RBIs. And Mercer reaches. Battled that at bat. Here comes Andrew Lambeau to pinch hit.
Pinch hit for Hughes, number 15, Andrew Lambeau.
Lambeau got his first hit of the year.
After Kristen Orpia robbed him of his first hit in the first inning with a nice catch over the shoulder in the bottom of the first inning. He doubled in the left center gap.
He had to think after that catch that, well, maybe I'm not going to get a hit this year. He'd hit the ball hard. Look, and I mean, that's the way it's been going for him.
He has lined the ball hard so many times, and only A.J. Burnett can smile. Neil Walker, his RBI single in the first inning, scored Gregory Polanco to give the Pirates a 1-0 lead, and then with 2 outs in the 8th, doubles over the head of the center fielder A.J. Pollock, scoring Andrew McCutcheon from first base.
A really impressive double. We talked about it. It's not easy to double when they're back there trying to take the double away from you, but he did it. Knocked in a nice insurance run. But Greg, you know how when I nail the tips, I always go back to them and we talk about them a lot. You ever notice we do that?
Well, yes, when you're right.
Well, tonight I was way wrong.
Wow, this is a.
I just want to. Well, it's after midnight at home,
so nobody paying attention to as well.
Well, I couldn't have been more wrong tonight.
You can always go back now. Whenever I criticize you, he goes, "Hey, you remember that time in Arizona? I went back and admitted I was wrong."
Yeah, I messed this one up tonight. Boy. We hit no home runs, and when the game was on the line, 2 guys on. What they do with Goldschmidt?
Right at
him. Got him out. No pitching around him. Nice tips tonight.
Well, I think you actually did that intentionally.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You threw those out there to kind of throw off the whole game, figuring this will get the Pirates a W.
It's called hitting vigorous.
Yeah, well done.
It's called. I'm glad that you realize why I do that. Mark's numbers on the year, not obviously what we normally see out of him. You know, his numbers over the last 2 seasons have always just been incredible, but off to a slow start.
Cliff Pennington is pinch hitting.
Had the nice easy save, as you said yesterday. It'd be great to see him go back to back with a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings.
Pennington a switch hitter. And to first, Sean Rodriguez a pick. He'll keep it himself. There's one away. It's been a long day here on Root Sports. We've brought you the Pucks and Bucks doubleheader. Rob King and Kent Tekulve are standing by in the studio back in the Berg, and we'll break this one down for you. Hopefully talking about a little winning streak. Pirates 2 outs away from making it 3 in a row. Aaron Hill bats here in the 9th. One on veteran Aaron Hill. And he's batting for the pitcher Evan Marshall. Josh Colmenter, who went 6+, gave up 3 runs and 6 hits, would fall to 1-3. And Garrett Cole would go to 3-0 if Melanson can get 2 more outs. Chop toward third. Here comes Harrison. That's a tough little play. And Jay nicely done. 2 outs.
Yeah, ball off the end of the bat, just going out there with not much speed. Jay had to come and get it and be real smooth and quick with the ball. He's playing pretty deep. How far he had to go. Nice strike over to Sean.
Another pinch hitter, David Peralta. Strike is called. And awfully nice to see Melanson have back-to-back quick 1, 2, 3 saves. And he might. Rodriguez takes it himself. Rays the Jolly Roger in Phoenix. What a start to the road trip. Neil Walker drives in a pair. Josh Harrison the other 2. And with Garrett Cole pitching, the Bucks get the W.
Now we had some good clutch hits when you really needed them tonight. The Jay gap shot to really get the nice lead in the very beginning. And we already talked about the Walker hit. Pitching was fantastic. Good start. One of the best things of the night, I think, though, Greg, right here at the very end of the game. Another really easy 9th inning by Melanson. I mean, not only get three quick outs, there was nothing even hardly hit off the infield grass. Just really routine ground balls. That was nice to see.
We'll be returning here. In the meantime, we send it back to the studios and Robin T.